Interesting statement here from the co-founder of Waze. If you don't know what Waze is, it's essentially a map application, just like Apple Maps, just like Google Maps. I actually quite like Waze, to be fair. I think it's pretty handy. It's very good when it comes to seeing, updates and stuff like that about the latest traffic updates. I do find it better, to be honest, than Google Maps. But anyway, let's stop talking about the app itself. Let's talk about what he has actually said. Yuri Levine, the co-founder of Waze, has predicted that the next generation beta as it is being known, will not drive. Now, you can probably guess why he said this, because of autonomous cars being the main reason behind it. But let's have a look at what he's saying, because in general, I believe across a lot of Western countries, including the United States, where car ownership is extremely high for a westernized country, the rate at which young people are actually learning to drive is decreasing quite rapidly. I know here in the UK, for example, it's decreasing massively, and that's despite the public transportation in this country being absolute trash. Then again, better than most of the US, but trust me, it's still pretty bad in here for the most part. But let's have a look at what Mr. Levine has had to say here. Let's dive into the story here, guys, as always. So serial entrepreneur Yuri Levine has helped build 2 navigation companies that achieved roughly billion-dollar exits. But he predicts that kids that are being born today, known as Generation Beta, will not end up driving cars behind the wheel. He said, and I quote, "They will not drive. A generation after that, if you will tell them that you used to drive cars yourselves, they will not believe you," end quote. This all comes, of course, as Tesla is launching its robo-taxi service, and there are several autonomous ride-sharing applications, or services I should say, really, across the United States, such as Alphabet's Waymo, which is, of course, the parent company of Google. Musk as well, when it comes to these robo-taxis, has big plans for them to roll them out across the United States in other cities. We'll see how that evolves, but right now that testing, of course, is still ongoing in Austin. But a decade from now, according to Levine, most driving will be autonomous, and that is, of course, including logistical, public transportation, and on-demand car services, in this case, of course, robotaxi, Waymo, or whichever service you choose to use. He said, and I quote, "The impact will be dramatic, and the urban areas will, quote, barely see any drivers." According to Levine, any product can only become good enough once it's released to the market and users can interact with it. From there, it improves through iteration, he said. Levine said that when autonomous driving becomes more widespread, it will give people back a substantial amount of time. In a 24-hour day, dedicating even 1 hour to driving is actually pretty significant, Levine says. I mean, if you average it out throughout an entire year, let's just say, 20 working days per month, times by 12, you're talking about hundreds upon hundreds of hours. It adds up quite a bit. And his thesis also contains a financial component as well. It's not just about the ease of access, it's also about the money when it comes to this too. For example, he said that if somebody pays $100 for an Uber ride today, the majority of that goes towards the driver. Some amount goes forward to operation costs, and of course some goes to Uber themselves. And he said, and I quote, "Once you take the driver out of the equation, the entire ride will probably be around $25, way more affordable and therefore way more demand at this price range." But not everybody feels so confident in self-driving vehicles. Analysts at HSBC Bank in the UK released a report saying that the potential market for driverless taxis was widely overestimated and that it could take years for robo-taxis to turn a profit. Levine said autonomous taxis are just the beginning though, and this could also have a market impact on the retail industry as well, and compared it to what elevators used to be like back in the day as well. There used to be a driver for elevators 50 years ago in hotels and other buildings, but nowadays it's redundant. And he very much does see drivers in a sense as that, particularly when it comes to taxi services. But yeah, guys, get your thoughts in the comments below. Are driverless vehicles inevitable? Will this generation of children who are just being born now, will they not drive? It's a very bold call, and I must admit, I think there's still going to be, for lack of a better term, edge cases where some people still learn how to drive. It's still going to be a thing. But the amount of people learning to drive is decreasing. As simple as that. For many reasons, financial being one of them, but also the ease of access for a lot of people when it comes to public transport, for the most part. There are exceptions. I mean, the US is, of course, the biggest one. So I expect particularly the United States, of course, to still have a significant portion of young people learning how to drive when they come of age in 15 years' time or so. Let's say that. I still expect a good portion of them to learn how to drive, but it's going to be less. I do think it's going to be less, maybe 50-50. Who knows? But yeah, your thoughts in the comments below, guys. I want to hear what you have to say about this. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always if you want to see more like this, guys. And have a fantastic day around the world today. And we'll see you very soon.